Okay, we're live. Hello, friends, and good evening.
Good
Um,
evening.
Welcome, Taribo.
Thank you.
Is this music interrupting you, or is it nice for you?
It works for me. Maybe just
The
reduce the
music.
volume a little, but it works for me. Yes.
Okay, I just want to be sure. Is it better?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and perhaps even better now.
It's fine. It's fine. It's
All
fine.
right. Good evening, Taribo Joseph. Good evening.
Good
This
evening.
is our Abec Parents webinar. It's purely our way of not just connecting as a school community, but supporting each other
Okay.
as a school community. And we're having conversations this evening with somebody who he says he's an emotional masseur. That's always I always find it. I say, what does this mean? But perhaps, but one of the things that I love is the fact that Taiwo Joseph addresses issues that we all have, talk about, worry about, um, but from a realistic perspective. So even though he's a mental health professional, somebody who works and who is a therapist and who is all of that, he doesn't treat this as one professional sitting on a high stool and trying to figure out life for us. No, that's not what he does. He comes to this with the perspective of somebody who understands where we're coming from and who wants to walk with us through this journey. So it's good to be with you again this evening. And we're talking about something very important: creating safe spaces for our children, identifying the triggers and creating safe spaces for our children in the home.
Yeah.
In the midst of the craziness of life, the home is supposed to be your safe space, the place where you run to and you feel a sense of comfort. You feel like you're protected. That's not what's happening a lot of the times these days. The second thing is that as we deal with the COVID-19 pandemic, we find that a lot more people are on edge. They're on edge for several reasons. They are on edge because people are seeing that their economies cannot sustain them. So people are scared, people are afraid of what tomorrow brings. Tomorrow is not given, tomorrow is not certain. People are dealing with current realities. And then, of course, when you keep people boxed in a space for so long, there tends to be trauma and tension and all kinds of things. So, this is our reality, but it's a reality we have to navigate. And some of those who suffer the most, unfortunately, are our children because they're young.
Yeah.
This is not convenient for them. They're not able to run around and play. They're not, life has changed for them. They're not able to go to school and return. Speaking with us this evening is Taribo Joseph. And I've said amongst many things, Taribo is a mental health, is a therapist. He works with us. But he works with us in a safe space, in a way that doesn't make us conscious of ourselves, of our environment. Taribo Joseph, it's good to have you, and I'm going to just let you roll before I interrupt.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me again. And hello, everyone. So let's just gist. Yes, I have some some slides, but at some point I'll get it up. But
Mhm.
let's let's look at trauma, and traumatic events. I want to start because part of this, I like talking about this because it also reflects my journey because no one actually taught us to be prepared for a time like this. We just got married and started having children, and now we have to cope with all their experiences. So I'm also in the same boat like you, and so we're learning together. So as we grow up as individuals, especially as children, there are different kind of traumatic uh, events that happen. And most times a child's perception of those events is as important as what actually occurred. So what you can look at as an individual or as an adult and say, come on, it's not as bad as you're painting it. You might be wrong, because one child can actually respond in a different way to another, just like what is happening now. Yes, I always like to tell parents to understand that every child is different and their emotions and their feelings are valid. So if you relate with your child from that point, from a point of knowledge, you understand. So don't tell another child you're overreacting. It was just something little, because some other person has gone through worse and is fine. So I think I would like to lay that background. You understand? So when you want to talk about, oh, what happened to you? You scream for one child and the child has a tough skin, and you do the same for another child and they go crying, and you tell that child, come on, be a man, or don't you know you're the senior one, or you're the bigger person. So if you cry, what do you want your younger one to do? It is actually different. Everyone is different. So it has to do with their perception of what is
That
happening.
that that that's something interesting you've just put out there, Taibo, and I like the fact that you've pointed it out. I
Yeah.
mean, it's right there scrolling. Every child is different, and
Yes.
sometimes as parents we forget that. We forget that every child is different. Every child comes with their
Yeah.
own who they are. What you know what worries us, I guess, from a parenting perspective is
Yeah.
I've raised 4 kids. It's the same environment. Okay?
Yes.
I'm not doing anything different. How is it that they can't react the same way? Why is this child having anxiety issues and the other child
Exactly.
is able to handle whatever I threw at them? Is it not the same me? What did I do wrong?
Mm.
Raising A that I didn't do, raising B. So, those kinds of things. So when you say every child is different, it's confusing for a parent who's raised 4 kids and you're wondering why is John more anxious than the others?
Yeah, it is how we all grow. You understand? It is just like our fingerprints are the same, are different rather. That's also how our perception of events. So one person looks at abuse and thinks of the bigger thing, but another person thinks, yeah, my dad hit me with a hard object, and that is a big abuse. For another, okay, I was stubborn, so that's not a big thing. You get it, but that's their perception, how they've grown to know themselves and how they react with the environment and their expression of it. So another, it's with a whip, another, just one slap. So just understand that they are being human. The same way also with us as individuals. That's how we also react with different things. So most times traumatic events are scary, dangerous, or violent, but abuse might be subtle. You understand? So,
Well,
notwithstanding, yes,
what worries me though, again, for us as parents is
yeah,
how do I then know? And you know why we're saying this? All of us grew up and we're thinking, it looks as if anxiety is more in today's world than it was when we grew up. Now that these children have everything, why is it now we're seeing mental health issues sprouting up everywhere? You know that kind of feeling. So we're like, when we grew up, there were these things. So all this depression, all these things. What is happening? The average parent in Nigeria, at least, is totally
yes,
confused. Is
yes,
totally confused.
yes. I agree. I, you don't know what you're missing if you're not exposed to it, truthfully.
Okay.
So at that point, we're not exposed to a lot of gadgets. We're not exposed to a lot of activities and the world as we know it. So all we knew that yes, when we feel in a particular way, we can just go out and play with our friends and we're unburdened. And we can't rule out the fact that we derive strength from our communal nature. Now, we don't have that strong communal nature. We're not living, everyone, we're living behind closed or behind closed gates, right? So if you look at your child, how many friends do they have in their lifetime? How was the level of interaction they will have with even their cousins, with their relations, and every other friend? So they are most times stuck with their direct family and the little interaction they have from school. And even after school, yes, if you're blessed to have intentionally built the relationship your children have, then you know that, okay, it now extended. If not, you go to school and they come back. How many times do you gather five parents and say, let us have a group celebration or a group meeting so that our children can know that they have support system beyond the home? So I think that is part of it, because now children, individuals, children also fall in that category where we are now very, very into ourselves. So everyone is minding their business. So where are the places where you can unburden? Where are the places you can? Before, if we have an issue, no problem. We'll meet on the playground after playing football. Men will come back pumped, right? Because we met our friends, and that is all. After school, we will walk from school for 1, 2 hours back home. And during that time, there is bonding, and we are just excited. So the little time we spend with our parents, we can actually withstand it. That notwithstanding, even in that time, we still had emotional and mental issues. But based on our culture, we would just say it is witch, or it is one spiritual spiritual issue happening. Yeah, so that's actually another part of it. But our lifestyle, we can say, because we are too into each other, and we are exposed to social media. You know, social media and every other thing happening is affecting us. And we as parents, look at our activities, look at our work and our business lifestyle. Can we really say we are available for our children? Yes, we are available, but are we there? Because they are not exposed to the others. How many hours are they exposed to us and really enjoying mommy and daddy?
Okay, you're about to hit us, eh? Well, these were just opening remarks. I really have to let you get into it, um, you know. But I'm going to ask you a few questions later on. But let's allow
Okay.
you go ahead and take this presentation. Identifying the triggers, creating safe spaces for our children at home. Taiwo Joseph, over to you.
Okay, thank you. Let me just try to share my screen at this point. I hope I can do that.
Expect
Oh,
you can.
okay, okay, okay. I think I'm back. That's so. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen. Right, I think there is Grammarly on it. If that's, is that it? Is that your
Where
screen that we're seeing?
where I have some potential traumatic events. Is that it?
Okay, yes, yes, yes.
So
I
potentially
can say
traumatic events.
so I can
Okay,
add that. That's it. We're there.
okay. So let me just say a little about this. This is not a comprehensive list, but you know, school violence, bullying, cyberbullying, accidents, natural disaster, community violence, fire, homelessness, and abuse, crime, neglect. They are one of the traumatic events that we have. This is not needed since you want me to just delve into some of the triggers. Then I'll say a little about this. If your child has reactions that impact his or her daily life after a traumatic event, these responses are called child traumatic stress. So it is important that we know about traumatic stress. And I gave this fact about mental health the last time. 70% of children and young people who experience a mental health problem have not had appropriate interventions at a sufficiently early age. An estimated 10 to 20% of adolescents globally experience mental health conditions. This is by World Health Organizations. And mental health problems affect about 1 in 10 children and young people. So it is good that we're talking about this. 1 in 6 people are aged 10 to 19. Mental health conditions account for 16% of the global burden of disease and injury in people aged 10 to 19 years. Half of all mental health conditions start by 14 years of age, but most cases are undetected and untreated. So now let's go to a little about trauma and exposure of risk. Your risk for mental and physical health problems from a past trauma goes up with the number of these events you've experienced. So it is good that we reduce the exposure of our children to this. So later in life, it affects us. So the less exposure they have, the better for them as they grow up. Physical abuse, witnessing domestic violence, sexual abuse, substance misuse within the household. So if daddy or mommy is abusing a substance, it is a problem. Emotional abuse. There are ways you can abuse your child emotionally, mental illness within the household. Physical neglect. We're talking about how present are you for your child. So physical neglect could actually lead to trauma. Because I've had some counseling sessions with young adults, and it can be traced to physical neglect. When she says what some other persons actually enjoy, she said her problem is this: she has never spent any holiday with her parents, because from secondary school is boarding house. After boarding house is London. After London, you're back and down to the private university, and the long holidays back to the US. And now that is a problem. So when she feels sad, what does she do? She looks for a guy to have sex with her because she wants to express herself in a way to hurt her parents. Because saying, you have never been there for me, you have always been busy. Parental separation and divorce. We know that's a big issue. Emotional neglect. So beyond physical, if you're at home, are you really available? Have you gotten to the point where you can say your children are communicating with you, that you can be there? Every child is seeking expression and understanding from the parents. So even that toddler that is crying and that is cranky also just needs you to understand that, see, I am uncomfortable. I don't like this whole homeschooling thing. If you can understand, okay, I don't like it. That is why I am cranky. So what do you do? Now I know that I don't like it, but daddy also does some things he doesn't like, but it's good for him. So what can I do to make it better? So if you relate with that child from the point of knowledge, then you will not be screaming over your head and wondering why that daughter of yours is crying. Because the way she's feeling, you have to be empathetic. So there are different kinds of abuse. If you allow me, can I touch a little about abuse before we go to the triggers?
Please, go ahead. Feel free.
Okay. So from UNICEF says abuse in all its forms are a daily reality for many Nigerian children, and only a fraction ever receive help, because this is a trigger. So it's important that we talk about it. Actually, 6 out of every 10 children experience some form of violence. 1 in 4 girls and 10% of boys have been victims of sexual violence. This is the last report we got from UNICEF. That is really, really a sad one. 6 out of every 10 children. Then of the children who reported violence, fewer than 5 out of 100 received any form of support. And that is, I think, also the big problem, because what is the level of support? Part of what we're saying here, you need to grow to the point where your home is a safe space, and you as an individual, you are a safe space for your child. That means I can talk to daddy, I can talk to mommy without fear that daddy will kill me or that mommy will kill me. The drivers of violence against children are rooted in social norms, including around the use of violence discipline. violence against women, and community beliefs. Violence discipline, that is one way. You know, part of what I also do is to help us unlearn that violence discipline is not the ultimate and it is not what's the word? Uh, it is not so important and it is not so effective. So you don't need to, as Nigerians, yes, that's how we were brought up, but you don't need to resort to violent discipline because over time we have found that it is not so effective. Recently, we got this report about Anambra recording 80 rape cases during COVID-19 lockdown. And the sad part is that a lot of it also came from fathers here. So the most worrisome is that some fathers rape their daughters more during the lockdown. In many cases, fathers who rape their daughters threaten to kill them if they report. The problem, therefore, is that many people don't report these cases. It is a sad one, but it is happening. At some point, when I have the time, I will also be able to share this. This is a useful guide that every child, every parent should take, especially for their children within the ages of 3 to 8, for the girl, for the boy, because it helps them to identify my private part and to tell them, this is my private part. So I will share that. It's a small ebook with them, with you, so you can share with the parents. Take it with your boys and with your girls, because that is how we can make sure they are educated. Can you still hear me?
Perfectly, perfectly.
Okay. So creating a safe space. If your child feels unsafe, they will not want to share their true thoughts and feelings for fear of being criticized. So now, how often do you criticize your child? So do you criticize them or you correct them? Because you can actually correct without criticizing. Their feelings may come out through their actions since they don't feel safe opening up to you using words. They will likely behave more differently, act more defensively, and seem more uncooperative. They also will probably not be as open to talking with or listening to you in general. So, do your children, do they feel safe around you? Home is where the story begins. Emotional safety is just as important, but it's something we don't always think about. So, now, can your child trust that their feelings will be responded to with sensitivity and respect? I am crying. What do you tell me? Do you tell me, stop crying, or you ask me, why am I crying? That is a difference, right? So that it starts at an early age to be able to build that honesty, even how you respond to their feelings, even the ones you think are petty, then you open the door for them to be vulnerable and honest with you. Now, a little guide on child abuse prevention. This report says each day more than 5 children die as a result of abuse or neglect. At any point, right? I think at any point you can stop me and ask a question and let's have a conversation on it.
Okay, we want to
Yeah.
let you flow and then we will
Okay.
do that. But we want
Okay.
you to flow, because I think this is exciting for me and I think for I guess I'm looking at the comments
Yeah.
and the comments are looking good. So,
Okay.
yes, please go ahead.
Okay. So now, just generally on abuse, I will not want to waste my time to do all the definition. We sure know
Mhm.
all the various part of abuse: physical, sexual, emotional, psychological. Never discipline your child when your anger is out of control. So I'm talking about the triggers at the same time giving my solution. So you know, because that is one way. A lot of things, the way you're feeling at this point in time, you're frustrated, maybe, or you're just on the edge. The same way also your children are not so happy. So one rule you should have: I am not going to discipline this child when my anger is out of control. So it is good that they do something. You tell them, what you did is bad. I will discipline you, right? And allow
Mm-hmm.
yourself cool off. Because if you don't do that, that's where you get into the very extreme discipline, right? That becomes dangerous for the child and over time will affect them emotionally. Participate in your child's activities and get to know your child's friends. This is important. That's one way for them to know that you care. Never leave and to prevent abuse because how really do you know your child's friends? Start at an early age, then you will grow with them. They come back from school. Who in your class do you love? Why do you love them? Who are your friends? Tell me their names. Tell me about them, right? That is one way you will see the light come. You'll be excited when the next time you call, okay, hi, Jason. Oh, you remember, he's fine. He was in school today. Teach your child to use their voice to allow them to prevent abuse. That is one way as you're communicating with them, let them know that they can always speak up. Listen to them and believe what they say. It is really disheartening when our children come to the point where they think that daddy or mommy doesn't believe. So when something happens, what is the first thing you do, right? Do you come from the point this child must have done something bad, or you are open to try to understand what actually happens? So we need to change our mindset about that. So why? Because if I trust you in the little things, if you come, I have not seen my pen. I'm sure you take it. You took it, and you're telling the child, "Where's my pen?" That means, wow, you believe I took it. It is better to say, "You see, my pen." You are beginning to shape their perception of mommy and daddy's relationship with them. How does mommy see
Okay.
you? Yes.
Let me interrupt you for a minute because that's
Okay.
something very, very instructive. How
Okay.
we communicate what we feel to the children is
Yes.
part of how we can create the safe spaces. So
Yes.
rather than be accusatory, we
Yes.
should actually be able to request, we're trying to seek information.
Yes.
Oh, did anyone see my pen? Would be mean that it could have been me who misplaced it rather
Exactly.
than you who took it. So
Yes.
so that's one of the ways. That's an interesting perspective to it. Now, please, as we go ahead, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and drop them in the chat. Um, you know, uh, Taribo is seeing your chats and he will respond. But I heard what you just said, and I thought that I should amplify that. The
Yeah.
way
Yes.
the way we put it out. Please go ahead.
Yes. Yes. So in doing that also we pay close attention to their conversations, right? And what kind of conversations are they having? Okay, who told you about kissing? You know, did you just say you love somebody? So tell me, what do you know about love? What do you think about a boyfriend and a girlfriend? That is just one little way. Don't allow it slide or you hush them down. That I don't want to hear that in your mouth again. You just missed an opportunity to learn more and to bond and to get to know the level of understanding they have about all of this. Yes,
But
people.
doesn't
Yes.
that then raise, and I'm sorry to have interrupted, but
No, please
doesn't
do.
that raise the issue of when is it too much? Because there are some parents that will say, that woman, the way she did do her children, she's too liberal.
Yes.
At what point, how do we, stay within the confines of propriety, the confines of being a firm parent and yet being a friend? That's something that is always difficult for parents to navigate, to be a friend and yet to be firm, so that I'm not allowing my child undue leeway,
Yeah.
and so he's talking anything he likes and feeling
Yeah.
any way he likes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not also being unduly, as they would say in those days, she's a bit too loose, that kind of
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah. I think first it starts with the realization that there's so much information out there. So so it's always good that you start the conversation when it comes to sex, when it comes to the opposite sex, right? When it comes to friendship and some concerns that you have, if you start the conversation, you see your child develop to, yes, as parents, you might want to say, come on, he's still a kid. She's still a kid. You're still little. But a basic conversation, what do you know about sex? What do you know about love and friends? Why do you like this person? Yeah, I had that conversation, my wife and I, with my sons. When say, "Oh, yeah, I like Loretta. Really, Loretta is my friend. Really, why? Yes, she's my friend. When I grow, I would like her to be my girlfriend." And wow, you're not at 7, but you understand. Okay, really? What do
Did
you
your eyes
know?
pop out of your sockets?
Yes, of course he did. And he was quite lucky that my wife was not close by because he would have received a knock. So at that point, we had to say, because he said he needed a car and a girlfriend. Oh, yes, I knew that. Okay, that's coming from somewhere, a car and a girlfriend. So
Okay.
what do you understand about a girlfriend? The nurse, somebody, okay, just tell me, why do you need a girlfriend? Just need a girlfriend, somebody you like, and I like her. Okay, you like her, and she's a girl. Okay, because you like her and she's the girl, so she's the girlfriend. Okay, so at that point, that is what he understands, right? So if she's a girl and I like her, she's my girlfriend. So I try to see there's nothing there. I said, okay, but you don't need to call her your girlfriend, just call her your friend. All right? Now, so you understand that. Yeah, so she doesn't need to be your girlfriend. She's just your friend. That is the level of understanding he has. Then I know I need to pay attention to every other thing that. So don't deny it. If I say, don't say that, are you okay? I don't want to hear that from your mouth again. That means we will not have that conversation the next time. So you want
Yes.
to create, yeah. So that you want to create a safe space. Be a nurturing parent.
Okay. Be a
Do
nurturing parent.
do they know that they are special? They are loved, right? That they are capable of following their dreams. It starts now. Believe me, it starts now. Because when we're saying creating that safe space, you're creating that safe space emotionally, physically, psychologically, right? So I need to know that, okay, how will I know that you allow me follow my dreams? Okay, today, I want to be a doctor. Okay, good, I'm happy. And he comes back, I want to join the football club in school, and I'm not so. I said, okay, yes, I want to be a footballer now. He said, no, you can't be a footballer. Instead, join the Red Cross. You understand? So, no, but I want to play football in school. Now, you need to understand that it starts now, or the little things at home, right? He wants to express himself in a particular way, pay special attention and nurture them in that area. Every time he's asking, can I be with your laptop? Can I be with your laptop? That is a pointer. Are you going to nurture him or her in a particular way to see, okay, what do you want to do with the laptop instead of saying, don't touch the laptop? And when it comes to the child's television, monitor their usage, what they are watching. Help yourself. When the big and the little problems of your everyday life pile up, you need to help yourself and control yourself first for you to be able to manage them. Else, we'll take it out on our children.
Taiwo,
So,
that is such a difficult place to be. Think about it.
yeah,
A parent that loses a job and has to worry about school fees, and then the bills are piling. Maybe he has a sick dad or a sick mom,
yeah,
and all of those private issues that are
yeah,
hitting at this parent. And the parent doesn't know what he's going or she is going to do, or a mom who's lost every means of livelihood, who may
yeah.
even be in a relationship where she's being abused. It's hard not to yell at the child. How do I help myself when my own issues are overwhelming me? What can I do?
I now what I tell people, because of what I do as an emotional masseur and counselor, I say first, you are the most important person to you. It's not selfishness. So
Yes.
you need to take care of you, right?
You need
So
to
if
take
you,
care of you.
yes, for me to be present the best version of myself, for me to be a great dad, a great husband, a great brother and son also to my parents, that means I need to take care of me first. So it starts with you. Else you will crack, then you will mess everything up. So in the midst of everything happening, you need to also, as individuals, we're creating safe spaces for our children. You as
Mm-hmm.
a parent, you have a safe space.
Mm-hmm.
One, you need to also be able to create a safe space for yourself. You need to have those persons that you can talk to. And how do you identify them? Who are those persons that make you feel heard, make you feel seen, and make you
Mm-hmm.
feel valued in every aspect of life? So,
Mm-hmm.
financially, you should have someone that I can talk to, right? Emotionally,
Mm-hmm.
spiritually. Some people have gotten all of these persons in one. Good for them. So you have one or two friends you can talk about your emotions, your financial life, your spiritual life, but you can be vulnerable
Mm-hmm.
with. But some of us, you just
Yes.
have. So I have some. Oh, if I just want to be a boy, I will talk to you like a boy. If I want to be a spiritual person, I would talk to another person. Then if we're talking about
Mm-hmm.
finance and business, they are the people I talk to. But I know that they are my support system. So parents also must
Mm-hmm.
intentionally build their support system. You can't just take it in. So you're having a problem in your family, whether your relationship or financial, you need to speak to those persons. You need to unburden those persons that will make you feel seen, heard, and valued, that will not judge you, that you can speak openly to. Because we know we unburden once we begin to talk. That is the first point actually for healing. So if you're able to talk, you see your future clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Else, you would take it up on the children. So, and of course, there are other things as parents also you need to do, but you need to take care of you. And of course, you must also work on your escape as a parent
Mm-hmm.
because some people are
Mm-hmm.
feeling trapped. So, what is it? Yes, if you're the type, you're an extrovert, now you've been indoors. It means you need to plan, even if it's a day trip within your city, just around, just stay away from the home and just breathe. This is vital. So, what works for you?
Wow.
Then be what works for you. So, find out, be in tune with yourself. For some of us, like my wife is this is her best time because she has me to herself, right? But it's not for me because I am burdened by traveling, right?
Okay.
So now I know. At one point, I told her, man, I was looking for a way. I think I will go to Bielsa in the morning and stay till evening and come back because I'm just stuck here. But I
Yeah.
had to now. So there are people like that. But care to understand yourself what works because what works for
Mm-hmm.
the wife might not work for the husband. So
Right.
be in tune
Right.
with yourself and your emotions. So at this point, think,
Mm.
what do I need? Maybe I just miss talking to a friend. Call that friend and talk to that friend, right? And do something different. You will be better. It's not going to solve every problem, but you will get clarity
Yes.
and know that you can take one day at a time.
At a
Then you
time.
will present the best version of yourself or a better version of yourself, not being on the edge to your spouse and to
All
your
the
children.
time. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. So that's I can go now. This is one interesting. Tell them you love them. If you start now, it won't be awkward when they are 30 to tell them that you love them, right?
Yeah.
So start now.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
let it be mechanical if you think it is. But just start it and tell them to I love you too. I love you, baby. I love you too. Call them by their name, right? Because if you do that, at one point in time, they know that my daddy loves me. I know I counsel people on relationships. I counsel ladies. Some ladies are in abusive relationships. They come from good homes just because they think this guy loves is the first person that loves them in the whole world. But they need to know that I love you too, right? So even when you fail me, I will still love you. I don't subscribe for don't go out there and disappoint me. I don't tell you, you will never disappoint me. There's nothing you will do that will disappoint me. Because at that point, they will not come back because I've disappointed you, Daddy. So you need to tone down on performance and your expectations. So tell them you love them. Ask them about their day. Give them your undivided attention. So when it is time, if it is 5, 10 minutes I'm with you, I need to be present. Give praise when praise is due. Say you more. How do you say you more? How are you? Wow. So personalizing it knows that you are present and they have your attention, right? Remind them of their strengths. We'll find out as the children grow that they have weaknesses, but they also have amazing strengths. But there's this principle: if you focus on their strength and make them focus on their strength, believe me, over time, their weaknesses will be insignificant because their strength will overshadow the weakness. But if you focus on their weaknesses, so I have a problem when every time you, as a parent, you're talking to me, you're only talking to me about what I did wrong. You know, we have that tendency. When the child is doing good, you are not talking to them. When they do bad, now we need to talk. So every time, I remember from my experience, anytime even now, if my mom just sent me a text message and said, we need to see, my heart will just, what have I done again? You get it? So don't be like my parents, right? Don't have that conversation only when something is bad. So remind them, you could call them and say, wow, you've been good. You know you're a great boy. I like the way you being handling yourself, you miss your friends, but you're still cool and enjoying the time at home. So look at their strengths. Now, because they are homeschooling, you find their weaknesses. Please, please look for their strengths. Why you tell them you're not good in this, it's better you don't tell them you're not good in this. Better you use the words, there's room for improvement. Do you know you can do better in maths? Do you know you can increase your scores in maths just like you're doing well? Do you know how good you are in English? You got 100%. You're that good, right? I love the way you read because you know how to pronounce the right words. Then spend more quality time together. Some advice here. Look for a time. I think I'm speaking with parents from primary school, right? So this works that you read book with them once in a while. They want to see daddy and mommy, just stay and let's read together. Give your child kisses and hugs when they wake up. This routine works. This routine, believe me, if you make it a habit, remember it starts and over time it becomes a habit and becomes your lifestyle. So now I tried it and I know my children, you can't tell me good morning from a distance. So you don't wake up and say good morning. Really? No, I'm not taking that good morning. It needs to come with a hug. And when you hug them, don't leave them so soon, right? Before you leave, a big hug. When you're back, of course, they're coming for the hugs. They tell them, hold on, because of coronavirus, I need to go and get myself changed, wash my hands and my face. Then dad is ready for a big hug. What happens? This becomes a tradition. So when they grow up, it is not odd again to hug daddy or hug mommy when they are teenagers because it is now a cool thing. And why this is important, you know, some of us did not grow up like that. I remember, yes, most times we say we love our parents or we love our children, but how do you show it? Last year, I had to travel out of the country to for a medical attention. I needed to get my heart checked and for some procedures. I know my dad was worried. I saw it in him, but he didn't say it. I traveled, I was there. He was calling every day, right?
Mhm.
But what happened? At the end of the day, I came back and my mom hugged me and he shook my hand. Wow. And I said, wow. He still
He
can't
was
hug
being
me.
a man.
Do you understand?
He was
I was just looking at the struggle for him, but I knew that
He
he
was
was,
being a typical job man.
yeah, I knew he was scared that he was going to lose me because every day he would call,
Yes,
what did the results say?
yes,
Okay, God
yes.
has you covered. Every morning, evening,
Yeah.
have you eaten? Don't worry. But now I'm back and you can't hug me.
He didn't want to seem like he was a softie. He didn't want to look soft, too soft.
Yeah, you see, but that is one way for us to also train up our men and our boys to say, hey,
Exactly. To
you
be
are,
sensitive, to be
yeah, be
emotional.
sensitive. You are
Exactly.
human. Because
Mhm.
a man will be concerned. That is why some men are breaking the hearts of ladies because I'm a man. But you feel it. You want her. But you're breaking her heart.
Yes.
But
Mhm.
you subdue it, right? And say, I don't care. I will go for another. At the end of the day, he's turning into a monster, but he's drowning in his emotions. Now, what is he doing? He's turned to drugs and and alcohol to suppress that emotion. Why
Wow.
he would have
Wow.
just said it. This is how I
That's that
feel.
you know,
I am
Tyrone,
hurting.
you just touched a very raw nerve there. That sometimes the people with the hardest exteriors have
Yeah,
the softest of hearts.
true,
But they don't
true.
know how to, they haven't learned to allow their emotions show.
Yes,
So
true.
where he's busy trying to be all macho, he
Yes,
now goes through this serial, you know, this serial life of I don't care, but he really cares.
yes,
So
it
he
does.
ends up lonely and alone, right?
Exactly,
Oh my
exactly.
goodness.
And because he's not used to expressing himself. So even when he needs it,
Yes,
the people that would have been there for him wonder, oh, he's fine. He can take care of himself. It's,
yes.
you know,
He's
but because
strong.
he's strong, but he can't say it deep
Or
down. He's
she's strong
screaming,
because
or
that
she's
also
strong.
happens with women.
Yes,
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 yes.
it does
It's
happen with a lot
depending
of
on
women.
yeah.
Yes, that the power woman, right? That's
But all of
macho,
this
macho.
starts but all of this starts from childhood.
Exactly, exactly.
How are we creating those spaces that allow our children be? So
Yes,
you're
let
saying what
them
I hear
be
you say is
themselves.
allow the children be. Let our
Yes,
children be, right? Thank you.
yes.
Go ahead, please.
Yes. So look them in the eyes. You know, some of these things look simple, right? So today I decided to go with the simple things because that is the foundation. It looks simple, but believe me, it works. That you hold a child and you look them in the eyes. Believe me, some parents can't look their children in the eyes at
Wow.
30 now. You know, and the same thing goes. You just okay, just don't worry. This is where it starts. Look them in the eyes. How are you? Right? How was your day? Tell me about your favorite part of the day. And it's all okay. Like my children, the beginning part said, Papa, when will this kind of school end? When are we going back? Because you're tired of this whole online school. Say, where are we? But now I ask, are you enjoying it? Say, yeah, somehow, but I still miss my friends. But there's been progress because we're talking about it. There's sometimes just stay in your room. You'll be shocked that some parents have never stayed up for 30 minutes in the children's room, the room of the children. Just go and chill. Okay, what are you doing here, Dad? I don't know. Let me just chill with you. He said, oh, that's interesting. You're there. It actually sends a signal that I'm here for you, right? Notice something they've done right. Thank you for putting your toys away. I appreciate it. Thank you for not getting yourself all messy today. Thank you for concentrating in school and answering the questions, even though I know you're tired of this online. That is something little. Look for things to do together, cook together. In doing that, there is bonding. When they look back, when they are out and they meet something at an older age, they will remember all of these memories that we had fun at home, right? No matter how bad your day was, we've talked about this. Don't never get to bed angry or let your child go to bed feeling that you're angry with them. This is very, very important. I said earlier that the feelings of these children, they are valid. And remember, you can't control their perception of the event around them. So if I go to bed and know daddy is angry with me, I disappointed daddy. Because you are doing that to say, let me teach them a lesson so that they will feel it. So that tomorrow, when they wake, they will know how serious it is. But you don't know how fragile that heart is. You don't know how broken they will be. So make a statement, but be sure they are going to bed thinking, what is the last thought you want them to have as they go to bed? Is it that my daddy is angry with me, or that my daddy loves me? That my mom is angry with me, or my mom loves me? You can say, yes, you got me upset. I did not like what you did. Allow them cry, any form of discipline before they go to bed. You call them again. I still love you. Understand that. I still love you, even though I was very, very upset. But I still love you and I forgive you. It means a lot to a child. Believe me, they understand and they feel it. We talked about this, compliment your child on something they do. Try to get ready ahead of your schedule. Yeah, this is when we start going out again. This is part of what happens, right? Because you are in a hurry. If that is always late, get in the car, get in the car, get in the car. You are making that child anxious and uneasy around you. So how
Wow.
about you program yourself and just get ready and sit? So you are not always in a hurry, right? So it reduces the whole cry. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up.
Just
So
hang on, Taiwo.
that,
You mean
yes,
that just saying hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, you mean that that can affect children?
exactly.
It can
It
create
does.
anxiety?
Of course, it puts them on the edge, right? That is
Wow.
upset. So now they are starting their day with the realization that I don't want to get daddy upset. Daddy is upset. So I go to school. So you remember the foundation we laid?
I had
Di-
no
di-
clue.
yes, different children react. So to some of us, it's nothing. Daddy can wait. Or okay, daddy will always scream. That to another child, that is traumatic because you're
Wow.
down honking. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? I am late. Where are you? And they're shaking and they're confused. If you actually watch closely, you see some kids also at that point. Where are you? They could forget something, and now they're in the car. You're going. Where's your book? I forgot. Yes, the hurry up just made him confused. He was no longer coordinated. You get it. So it is a sensitive thing. So it starts at an early age. So once you do that, the same way, even for babies, you see babies react in a different way. If you're playing loud music and screaming, even for a baby, right? The babies begin to cry, and over time, some others will continue to cry. Some others will get used to the noise. So the same way
Wow.
it
Wow.
goes
Wow.
for.
These are lessons. Go
So
ahead.
do you do you listen to what your child is saying without interrupting? Oh, come on, close your mouth. My friend, I said, shut up. Oh, yeah, you might just want to listen. Maybe they are having a problem communicating it. Because in listening, you can really know what is in their head, what is in their heart, and also what they are not saying. So sometimes they keep talking, just allow them to keep talking, right? So make your child feel their opinion matters by asking what they think. You want to buy something from them. It's not every time. Yes, you love them, right? Sometimes allow them go shopping with you. You want to order something online. Yes, I know I tried to do that before the lockdown. We knew online school was coming. I took them, choose the color of tables and chairs you need, right? This one said, I want red, I want pink. Oh, then tell them, come on, you're a boy, take blue. No, said, I'm a boy, but I want orange. Good, you will have orange. So they begin to think, okay, my opinion matters. But if every time you come, this is what I got, maybe they would have wanted a different brand, right? So, so it is important. Those little things matter. When they do things, yeah, they do their artwork. Tell them, go and stick it on your wardrobe, right? Stick it on my wardrobe. I'm proud of what you did. Believe me, you're boosting their self-esteem. Even with that not so good artwork, you're not going to tell them. But they see, wow, I thought it is you stuck it to your wardrobe. Yes, because I like it. And you're interested that wow, I'm valuable to my dad, I'm valuable to my mom. Don't talk about them, especially their flaws in front of them. They have emotions too, right? So you're on the phone and you're talking with your friend. Oh, Nkechi, you can't believe what Adele did. Imagine this boy. Imagine this boy. Imagine this boy, and they are looking. Wow, really? They hear. They could be playing, but they are listening and they understand that. Wow, you're sharing all of my secrets and all of my faults. That how bad I am that you have to tell the whole world about what I did. You're beginning to build an unhealthy assessment that they have about themselves. So it is important. You make a promise, follow up on it. Play with them, even if for a few minutes. Try as much as possible. Say more yeses than no's, right? Hey, no. Can I have this? No. What about yes, you can have it, but not today? It changes the person. Okay, he said yes, but not today. But he always say no, 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 no. What happens? The next time the child thinks, no, don't worry. I know who to say. I know your answer. No, no need. So I keep it to myself.
Yeah.
Then, if it is that important, okay, maybe I'll think of a way of stealing it from your bag, right? Or sneaking your phone out without your notice. Because if I ask you, you will say no. So, so it is important. Think of fun activity to do together on the weekend, even if it's something as simple as singing competition. This is what we did yesterday. My, my
Oh.
we did our home bowling, right? My my son came and said, I came back. He said, "Are you aware this evening is family games night?" I said, "Okay, boys against the girls." So we put our bottles and used our orange as our, and we had fun. The girls won. He was upset, but the girls were happy. So at the end of the day, now he has told me today that there's another. So after my session, we have another family. Smile at your child. This might seem insignificant. Smile when they think about you. Can you just picture in their imagination, just the same way if I think about my mom, right? Okay. I don't, the first flash is not she smiling at me because she was a teacher. Oh, yeah, she was a teacher, a serious teacher. She was
Simon,
my,
what are you saying about us teachers? Stop it.
no, no, she was good. She trained us properly, right? But with a hard hand.
Prim and
So,
proper. She was prim and
yes,
proper.
yes. But it would have been good. To the point, in my adulthood, I don't want to see her. Oh, she's not smiling. What have I done? So that is important. Once in a while, ask to hold their hand. So if you smile, when they think about your face, your expression, it should be more of you smiling.
Okay.
that helps. So that is the importance
Okay.
of smiling always, because what they see, it stays in their memory. So even when something
That's
happens, you
right.
think of daddy, you think of mommy, you imagine their face. Okay, you imagine them smiling, not always
Okay.
scolding you.
Okay.
So
Okay. Wow.
create
Wow.
traditions. What are the traditions that you can create? Remember, as you're doing all of these things, there's something that is constant. That is communication. Communication is a vital key in creating safe spaces. So all of these activities that I have done, that I've mentioned here and more, while you're doing that, there is communication that will happen naturally, that will happen intentionally, or just unnaturally. So if you're creating traditions, where are those habits and routines? Sometimes they should know that some things, okay, they can predict, okay, it is Friday. Because it is Friday, what will happen? We are all going to gather, and it is cheat day. Daddy will buy
You know,
burger, he will buy
something
suya.
that
Yes,
something
yes,
that was a
please.
tradition for me growing up
Yes,
was that I knew
yes,
that every Christmas my father would take us to whatever new restaurant opened in Port Harcourt, and I was
um,
sure that we will sample. That
yes,
was it growing up for us. Christmas lunches
yes,
were a family tradition, and my dad would take us out. So we looked forward to the outing.
yes.
So I guess, we're talking about tradition. That's
Yeah, yeah,
something, you
yeah,
know. And then
it
when my
is.
kids were growing up, I did
Yes,
some, because I was a very busy parent. When my kids were growing up, every morning I tried to take them to school. And in the mornings, as we were riding to school, 4
yes,
a.m., 5 a.m. Lagos traffic, we'll be
yeah.
singing to gospel music and dancing together, and
Amazing.
stuff like that. I
Yes.
like what I hear. Yes, okay. Go
So,
ahead.
so, so the importance of this tradition is because they create memories that will last lifetime. When you
Okay.
look back at your life, you will some traditions that are little. Now on Sundays, if you say, okay, on Sundays are the days I buy you ice cream, so it's
Okay.
predictable. So if I yes, and now the good thing with it, if you've gotten up to the point, even when you don't have the money, okay, I need a cup to myself. No, today daddy doesn't have money. Why does daddy not have money? That's because you did not pray to God for daddy to have money. Okay, so if I
Okay.
pray to God next Sunday, daddy will have money. Exactly. So today,
Wow.
last Sunday, you had a cup to yourself. Today, you will share with your sister. So, but you created that tradition, so they look forward to Sundays or they look
To
forward to
it.
something, right? Little traditions like, okay, today we're going to have our bath in mommy's bathroom. Why always in our bathroom? And you say, okay, let us have it. Once in a while, daddy is going to bathe them. Once in a while, you're going to sleep in that room, on that bed, and the feeling that I'm sleeping. Oh, once in a while, daddy, can I comb your bed? That is the one that's going to clean my ear, right? Or that feeds me. You tell them, oh, you're not a baby, you're 5. Yes, but today I want to feed you. Really? Come on, I'm not a baby. Yes, I want to feed you. And
Okay.
that's
Bonding time.
actually,
Bonding
that
time.
is bonded time, which you cannot actually ignore. So I'd like to take your
Okay.
questions.
Okay. I've been waiting. I thought we would see. I haven't seen many questions. I've seen a lot of commendations,
Yeah.
but I haven't seen many questions coming from the parents. But I'm
Yeah.
going to ask my own questions. One of
Yeah.
the biggest things that parents are dealing with is this whole concept of online learning. Is
Yeah.
there a sense in which online learning can be traumatizing for kids or distracting? Is every child going to be able to cope or learn online?
Okay. And now every child can cope and learn online because every skill can be learned. That's if you come from that point that every skill can be learned, right? You have children of 3 years that have learned how to 3, 4, 5 play instruments and do different kind of things. They've stretched their brain because the brain has amazing capacity to to the point where they begin to do recitations and all of that. So the same way with this, but it starts with understanding. Understand your child, that they are at various stages in their life and they will react differently to this online. You know, when I was speaking the last time, I talked about my daughter, right? She she'll be four. She'll be four next month. And as a matter of fact, when it started, she was very upset. As a matter of fact, she was expressing anxiety with the whole idea of what is happening here. So she was cranky. She'd just stay in front of the screen and she'd be teary and she'd be shedding tears. And I understood that this is what is happening. But my son is older. No problem. He gets his headphone. As a matter of fact, he shares my headphone with me when he's flying. Papa, my headphone. And he takes my lights that I use and he sets it. Why for the first week we had to hold you, Papa, hold my hands. Papa, hold my hands. So I'm there. So that's how bad it was. But on a good day, she expresses herself, she talks. But just before the screen, she froze. But I had, so she froze. Believe me, the teacher is saying she's not answering. She's not saying a word. She's looking, she's not saying anything. She's tearing, she begins to itch. Yeah, which is also a sign.
Are you
It's a
serious?
sign. Yes, she was itching for her headset, each fan. The fan is facing her. She still takes the hand fan, mama's hand fan, and she's doing that. Was serious. But I
Oh my
understood that for that
goodness.
1 week, I stayed with her. There were promises I made to her. Before her session, I'll give her Fanta so that she has some sugar rush into the brain.
Yeah, yeah.
Day, right? So it happens 1, 2 days. The third day, she said, "Okay, Papa, I did not cry today." I said, "Amazing.
Oh.
Here's your gift." I gave. Then I said, the the fourth day, we went back to square one. I said, "No problem." By the fifth day, I did not upload the pictures. If I show you the day one picture, and as a matter of fact now, she logs in herself, right? She logs in herself and she takes an extra stool, logs into Zoom herself, puts in the
Oh my
ID and the
goodness.
password now, puts her, yes, now she she takes her turn with the headphones and she crosses her
Wow.
leg on a second chair and she's screaming and she puts her headphone and says, "Papa, you don't need to hear. Don't worry, wait, I can do it." That is by the
Oh.
second. So ours took her 2 weeks, right? And yes, once in a while she also has a down moment, but understanding that now it is happening. So it starts with understanding that every child is different. So if you come from that point and know that I think I have a carousel, maybe I will share later that will help parents also, just about 4 slides of pictures and that you will not be super productive this period. Just tell yourself that. So it is okay. Right. What we are trying to do is let these children continue to learn. So if they learn 40%, they learn 50%, they learn 80%, it is fine. So if parents come from that point, reduce your expectations, reduce your drive for performance. So you as a parent, you will not be on the edge. So you will
And
take
the
it
kids
easy with
too.
the kids too. Yes, because the truth is they can sense your anxiety. They
Okay.
can sense your discomfort, right? So if you come from that point, okay, it is not working. Okay, take a break.
Okay.
What do you need? So I would just wanted to lay that foundation. Yes, it
Okay.
will. Yes, it's not the best, right? But the same way they can learn every other skill, they can learn this with the adequate support from
Of
all
their
their
parents.
caregivers. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Taribo. Thank
Yeah.
you. Well, we don't have any questions coming, so you can go ahead. It's up to you to wrap up now.
Okay. So just the area you were talking about, I think this is for the bigger children, right? I will go to my interest here. Yeah. Okay, sorry. You learn how to manage your anger.
Mm-hmm.
It's normal to lose your control at times of stress. You know what? We talked about this, right? So even when you lose it, go back
Yes.
and say, I'm sorry that I snapped.
Yep.
Daddy
Yep.
promised that he will not scream again. I'm sorry that I screamed, right? So, yes, because at
Wow.
that point, you're teaching them about repairing relationships. So,
Mm-hmm.
learn how to manage your anger, decrease the
Great.
negativity in the home, stop
Mm-hmm.
yelling. Believe
Mm-hmm.
me, believe me, the children can hear you and know that you're serious even when you don't yell.
Ooh.
There are, there are
Okay.
ways there are ways you can make them understand how serious it
You're
is.
talking to an Ijo woman. You want me not to yell? Yeah, Tamara. That's a lot of demand.
you, you, you know, if you continue to yell, somehow the children will also begin to yell. So you find out that the senior will yell at the younger one,
Mm.
right? Yeah, because somehow that's how we do. We yell in this home. When you do
Oh
something
dear.
wrong, we yell.
Eh.
So
Oh
we're a
Lord.
yelling family.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Ah, terrible. I think you have just killed me today. I don't know. I hope we can get these slides. Would like to share it with our school community. Would like our parents to have access to it. I hope it's all right for us to ask you for the slides. Um, if
Okay.
that's okay, please. If
Okay.
that's okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're going to, we promise that this is purely for our school community. We're going to
Yeah.
just be sharing it with them.
Okay.
So there you go, parents. It's been another beautiful Abec parent webinar. And I've had speaking with us. Practically, I'm going to begin to wonder if we won't be asking Tyrell to come and spend some time with our kids when we resume, because it's been an amazing time. This is the second time we've had him as our guest, and it's been extremely beneficial. And I suspect that we will be needing to provide support for our kids when they come back to school, because they're going to be relearning how to operate in this new environment post COVID. And so we need our kids to be able to be properly adjusted to deal with this. Let me thank you very much, Taiwo Joseph. Always, always, it's been a pleasure. Very exciting. Learned a lot of things. I tell you, I'm going to have to learn to tone it down a bit, because I
Yeah.
don't want to be that yelling mom.
Mm.
Okay, I already am, but I'm going to have to relearn not to be. Uh,
Yeah. It's never too late to
parents,
learn. One day at a time.
I guess so. So, parents, if you're like me and you're yelling, mom, you probably learned that that's your takeaway, and whatever other takeaways. But let's keep this real. Let's stay close to our children. But above all, please stay safe and keep our children safe for us. We love you. And always at Abec, we are the best of the best. Thank you, Taribo, and let's all have a lovely day.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Bye bye.